website accessibility legislation. So yeah, really happy to say that we ticked that. We did have some no's for this year, and that's mainly because of the period without the parking RFO. So bank reconciliations weren't done as according to standing orders. There was some payments that didn't get pre-authorised by council, so they have all been noted, but that hasn't continued to happen, and there's a different change in process now. So I think that covers everything.
Thank you. Any questions on the order?
I'd just like to thank Melanie for getting into that position. I actually realise how hard you've worked to get to that, and I'd like to thank you on behalf of everybody for getting this council to that position.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, could I propose that we confirm and accept this internal audit? Second.
Yes.
Show of hands, please. The earmarked reserves is item 16. So, with the internal audit, and it's being commented on.
Sorry, Chair, it's not that one.
Oh, it's the other one.
One with red on it.
This one then? Sorry.
There was a lot of attachments on it. Oh, it's enough.
Okay, item 16. So, as I was saying, in the internal report it was highlighted that the general reserve is in deficit. But whilst it is hoped that future grant funding opportunities will support council projects and activities, we should give some consideration to reviewing and reallocating earmarked reserves to ensure an appropriate general reserve balance is maintained. And we have a sheet of proposed, current and proposed reserve figures. Anybody got any questions or comments? Chris?
Yeah, but how do you actually arrive at these figures? What makes you, do you know what I mean? Where do you...
Experience in asking clerks at the branch meeting.
Right, so what makes you decide you're going to earmark £5,000 for the community centre? Do you know what I mean? Where's the...
Because when I've had to replace a boiler at a centre before, it's been between 3,000 and 5,000 that I've been quoted. So
yeah.
I've just gone with what, if something went down, how much it would cost to replace it.
Right, okay. Right.
Has any bit consideration been taken over past expenditure?
Yeah.
Yes,
have we got a track record for spending X amount on?
On some, yes,
Anyway.
but obviously with the community centre, we've just got a new fireboard, so obviously we don't need to envision that. But obviously, even if we did need to go over the 5,000 on the community centre, that's when you could shift it into general reserves. But if something came up and we hadn't got general reserves and not an earmarked reserve for that, we couldn't then sort out that issue.
Okay.
So sometimes, unfortunately, you do have to have a lower earmarked reserve, so your general reserves can be more widely spread out.
Okay.
So, are you saying then that
Have you
it's
put your hand up when you want
Sorry,
to... I can't see.
Sorry.
So are you saying that our earmark reserves are low, or our general reserve position is low?
Our general reserves are low, and ideally, a council of this size should be around 6 months. An auditor will look at anything between 3 and 9 months. So if we're in that bracket, then we're basically a habitable council, or we're at minus at the minute. So even with these changes, it doesn't bring us into that healthy level. However, what we can do at at the 6-month mark is reallocate some of the budget lines. So it's not just earmarked reserves, you can move around its budget lines as well. But for the first instance, just to get us into positive, I put the earmarked reserves forward.
And just hope that we don't lose the reserves. Do you know what I mean? That we don't need to touch them.
Yeah.
And we can move between these earmarks if necessary. Okay.
Any other questions? Yes.
Not
Sorry.
It might be silly, but so basically what you're saying is to build up our general reserves, you're just going to move the money when you need it.
It is kind of like that, but like with the reserves, like I was trying to explain. So, for example, if we wanted to renovate one of the rooms, we haven't got a budget line for it, we haven't got an earmarked reserve for it, we haven't got enough general reserves, and we couldn't process that. So if you've got general reserves and a new project comes up, then you can talk about it, but at the minute we can't talk about anything. And also we're breaking audit requirements by being at a minus, so we need to do something to get us in a positive. So I'm getting on the right track.
So it's like a prudent bookkeeping sort of. Yeah.
Sorry, just getting my head around the finances. But does it make sense to trickle money in instead of just moving money when we need it? So just do a regular trickle to build up the reserves, and then that way it's not going to hit us as hard if we ever need it.
Well,
It makes no difference because we'd have to pay the bill in the if we had a problem.
Yeah, but if you have a problem, you're only trickling a little
But
bit.
this is more
full time.
a governance planning element in terms of managing the things. We need to be seen to have some money. But do we need to have 20,000 ready for this building? No. Because if we did need to spend 20,000, we'd just move it back. It's a bit Robin Peter. It's horrible in one respect.
Yeah, that's all
But
right.
it is putting the financial security in a general reserve rather than in just this building. I'm not inappropriate in that
Yeah,
explanation.
so if we go back, if we look at COVID, if we went into COVID lockdown right now, this council wouldn't be able to function. But if we had money in general reserves, I've got an emergency fund delegation, then we would be able to function. So it's like a contingency fund.
Any other questions? Yeah? Okay. Can I propose that we accept these recommended amendments to the earmarked reserves to restore and maintain an appropriate general reserve?
Yes.
Yeah, seconded. Show of hands, please. Okay, item 17. This is the big one, isn't it? There you go. Would you like to talk to this?
Yeah. I have put a statement down just because I am a 100% girl and I don't like signing something off that's not 100%. So just to point out, I've only done 3 months towards this AGAR because obviously it's till the end of March. So I couldn't get it to fully pass because I can't change what's happened historically. So the AGAR, if we go through it, so starting off, so the first page is just information, the second page is a tick box to just make sure that I send everything off to Mazars. The third page is the internal audit report, which does have some no's as mentioned in the last report, and the auditor has put in the reason why there's a no, and basically most of them has been because we didn't have a class for a period of time. On to the next page is where, as a council, we need to say yes or no to statements. So I provisionally ticked the boxes that also correspond to the auditor's boxes because we will get a qualification point if we don't match with the same no's. And then I've made a separate sheet as well for our no responses and how we will improve in the future. Then the next page is the figures that I've drawn down off the finance system, and then there's then a few other attachments, one being the improvements we've made from the last audit. So the last audit picked up that it didn't meet the requirements for the 2015 accounts and audit regulations to start 30 working days of public to inspect the accounts the day after the AGAR was published, and to do so as soon as possible after it was approved. That sounds really complicated, but basically